right here I'll just include a div and a class name here. This class name will have a max height of 75 VH. If we have an overflow along the y-axis, we'll make it to be auto. So overflow y auto and px here of 2. Now in here is where we will create our form. So we'll go ahead right here and say form like that. Make sure to import it from UI form, and then we will spread form here, and in here we'll say the form, the normal HTML element like this. Right here we can have a class name, and we'll say space along the y-axis to be 6. Now in here we'll start including the form fields. So we'll start by the room title. So we can come to this one and we go to the very top and we can steal this title. So I'll copy this one and we paste it here. I save to auto format. Name will be title there. Then this will be room title. Then here you can provide your room title or provide a room name. Example, double room. Then we make sure to import all this stuff from UI form, this one from UI form, this one from UI form, form description here from UI form, form control from UI form, also form message from UI form. And now these errors should go. Okay, we have one here, input from UI input, and we go ahead and save. So now we should have at least one input field. So at our app, when I click add room, look, we have this input field right there. I'll come back and we'll add even more. We need a description, so I can copy this input there. We'll just use it right here. This one now will be description. This will be room description. Then here you'll say is there anything special about this room? Placeholder. This will not be input, but it will be text area from UI text area. Okay, that will be it for description. Now we will go to another section where we will show the different amenities available in this room. So I'll include this in a div, and here we will start by adding a form label, and here I'll say choose room amenities, and right here I'll say form description. Now right here I'll add a div because I want to divide the amenities into two sections. So I'll say class name here, and I'll display grid hyphen call, and here this will be calls to, and we'll say a gap of 2 and a margin top of 2. Then in here we'll be having a form field. So I'll say form field. This will be similar like that for a checkbox, the checkbox that we had done on this one. So I'll scroll down, so I can copy this one here, copy, then I come here and we use it here. At least when I copy we can move a bit fast. So here instead of a gym, room service, then we bring in checkbox from UI checkbox. Make sure not to bring it from Radix UI but UI checkbox. Then we can say 24 hours room services. Let's save and preview. Add a room, and look, we have the room title, description, and we have now choose amenities, and we can actually select 24 hours room service. So I think this is going along well, right? So we just need to duplicate these multiple times, and we customize each one of them. So we will have one for the TV. So here I'll say TV, then right here I'll say TV. The next one will be for a balcony. Does this room have a balcony? And right here I'll say balcony. Very nice. Then we duplicate it there. We'll have free Wi-Fi. Then right here we'll say free Wi-Fi, just like that. The other one will be city view. City view. Ocean view. We'll have forest view and mountain view as well. So forest view, forest view, then here mountain view. So you can have as many as you want. Next we'll have, is this room air conditioned? So I'll say air conditioned. Is it soundproofed? So those are all the amenities. So if I save, we come back, look, we have all the amenities listed here, and you can select the one that are available in this particular room. And now since we are having an overflow, you can see we have a scroll bar there. So we will have now a section where we can actually upload an image or show the image of the room. And for that, we don't need to work so hard for that one, since we have already done a similar thing. So I'll scroll down here where we actually had the image section. So this is it. I'll select this form field up to this point. I will copy it and I'll come back right here. So after this div, okay, so let me see, actually after this other div there, so you should have two closing div right here. Right here now I'll now paste that form field for the image. If I save, does it auto format? Yes. So let's go through each of the step and see if everything is fine. So this will be form control, name will be image, we will render here field, form item, class name will be flex call, space wide 3, all looks good. Then he'll say upload an image, choose an image that will showcase your we can say room nicely. Then right here we'll have a form control, we'll check if we have an image or not. So we need to set up the state for the image, and image is deleting. So if I come back right here, we go to where we had states. Okay, we had image and image is deleting, so I'll just copy the two, copy, come back to our room, go to the top of the component here, and I'll paste those states. Okay, we bring in use state from React, just right here, and we come back to the bottom. We need to import this image component from next image. Then we need to bring in a button from UI button. We have this handle image delete. We can just come from our hotel form right here. We can come here and we copy that delete functionality, handle image delete. We'll just copy the same thing. You can as well pass it via props to here. It is the same thing, but copying once, it's not a bad thing. When you have many places to use this function, then you can try to reuse it, but in this case I can just copy and paste it right here. It will be making the request to the same endpoint because the image is at upload thing, and therefore I don't have a problem there. We import Axios from Axios, then we set up our toast. So at the top here we can come and say const toast will be equal to use toast from UI toast. Should we destructure it? I forgot that, so let's check if we destructured here. Yeah, we actually did. So let's destructure toast just like that. Then let's come here, and now we have this function for deleting the image. Let's come to the very bottom. Now this is the function for deleting the image. We'll pass the image. Let's bring in this loader from Lucid React, X circle from Lucid React. Okay, now we come here, we bring in the upload button from upload thing, the second one here, upload complete, error, everything is fine, and I save. So that is our image upload functionality right there, which we'll use to upload the room image. So it's the same functionality as that of add hotel form, and since we had already done it, we have now moved a bit faster right there, which is good. So we come here. So now we'll have another retro section which we will divide into two. So here I'll have a div. Inside this div I'll have two other divs. Okay, so that one and this one. This one will be our part 2. Let's just write it so that it's easy to spot. Then right here we'll add a class name, and we'll say flex to be row, and we'll add a gap of 6. Then right here we will add a class name. Flex will be 1, flex, then flex will be call, then a gap of 6 as well. Let's copy this class name and we will paste it right here. Very nice. So we come in here and we will have a form field. Let's copy one of the form fields, then we'll just customize that particular form field. So I'll go for the one that says description or title is a good one. Then we come to the very bottom again and we paste it here. So this says form field, control will be form control, this will be the room price. So here I'll say room price, then right here the description, room price in USD. Okay, that is the label, this is the description. So we'll say state the price for staying in this room for 24 hours. That is basically 1 day. Control, this will be an input, not a text area. So we'll say input, just like that. we'll say the type for this input is number. Okay, we will remove the placeholder, and right here we'll say the minimum is 0. I save. Let's see what we have. Add room. We scroll down. This is weird. We should not be having the image for the hotel, but we should be having that for the room. But let's see for the number here. Now you can add a room price in USD there, which is good. And the part 2, we'll list them here. So let's fix this image back here. So here we said hotel.image, but we should say room.image. So that's the issue there. So we save, we come now to the very bottom, and we'll be having now a similar thing for our room price here. Down here I paste. This one will be for the bed count. So bed count, so how many beds are available in this room? So this we can have a minimum and maybe a maximum. So maybe a room cannot have more than 8 beds, which makes sense. If you want to set a maximum, you can. So I'll copy now this one, and we'll have one for guest count. Guest count. Guest count. How many guests are allowed in this room? This will be the same. Okay, we come here, we'll have one for the bathroom count. So if the maximum of the room or bed is 8, maybe guest can be double that. So I don't know if there is a room like that, but we might be having a hall or something, I don't know. So here let's have bathroom count. So I'll say bathroom count. How many bathrooms are in this room? How many bathrooms are in this room, like that. Then yeah, I leave everything as it is. Now that is the first section. We have this other section, so we can check just to please the eyes or something. This is a section for adding the image. You can make it shorter or longer, I don't know. Then this is our room price here, bed count, guest count, bathroom count. So the others, we'll list them here, including the breakfast price, king size bed. So they'll be so similar. So I'll copy all of these actually. I'll hold on shift, copy all those form fields, and I'll paste them here. I'll move back to the top here where we have this div, and we start changing from here. So this will be breakfast price, breakfast price in USD. So we come here now, we say king bed, and here you'll say king bed. So that is optional, we remove the star. This is also optional, so I'll remove the star. Then yeah, how many king beds are available in this room? The rest will be the same. We come to this one, we say queen bed, queen beds. I don't know why these complain. So at our types, we said queen bed. We fix that, queen bed. You should be able to catch these small mistakes that I make. And we come back here, queen bed. Okay, so that means that we should also fix our schema. So the original mess was here, queen bed. Once you change the schema, you should always call npx prisma generate to keep the types in sync. Okay, that failed. Okay, we should do it when our application is not running. Maybe npx prisma generate, yeah, and npx prisma db push. So a small change can actually like affect it, so you can always do this. So once that is done, you can run the application again. So npm run dev, that can run at the background there. Now we go to the bottom of this form. Now after queen bed, we'll actually not be having anything else. So how many queen beds are in this room? So after the queen bed, this is the last one, we can remove it. Or did we leave something behind? So we can preview at our browser. Let's refresh since we restarted the server. Add room here, and this is what we have. You can verify if everything is fine. So as you can see, these were mandatory, these are optional. Yeah, very nice. Now one last thing, we need to actually add a button that will submit this form and save this room in the database. So let's do that. We will jump to divs right here. Just before closing the form right here, we'll add a div. In this div, we can add a class name, and I'll add padding to the top of 4 and maybe padding to the bottom of 2. Now in here, I'll go ahead and we will add a button for creating. Since we'll also be using this for update, we'll do a similar thing like we did with our hotel. Let's go and steal the code from here. So look for where we had create hotel and update hotel buttons. They should be at the very bottom. So at the very bottom here is where we had updating and creating. So I'll copy the entire of this section like that, copy, and I come back here, and right here I'll paste and I save. So I saved just to the format, but here really we should be looking for the room, if we have a room or not. Okay, and I think his loading should be complaining, right? Because we don't have that state yet. It just takes some time to, reflect, and it's actually complaining. Then we should also import these icons. So pencil line from Lucid React, pencil light here from Lucid React again. Set is loading state. So back at the top where we have our states here, I'll say const is loading and set is loading to be equal to use state. We invoke that, and here I'll say false. Very nice. I go ahead and save. Let's go back to the very bottom. Now there is only one difference that we will do in this particular form. These buttons should automatically submit the form, but now the problem is we are hooking this form into this form. So basically we have two forms, okay, and submitting this form will also submit the form for the hotel. So we don't want that. So actually what we will do, we'll make these buttons to be of type buttons so that they don't submit the hotel form. So right here we'll say type to be button, just like that, and these we should do the same for this other button here. So right here I'll say type is of button. How will we submit the form? We'll just add an on-click event here, and once we click this, we will call right here form dot handle handle submit. We will invoke it and we will pass our on submit function right here. Okay, very nice. And we will do the same for this other button. So they'll be calling the same function. We pass it like that on click form handle submit on submit. So actually we can say on submit with a capital S like that. So it complains because we don't have that function yet, but we all know that we can easily define the function at the very top just before our return statement. And we have that function in our hotel form, so we can steal it from there, because why not? So we have this on submit function. We'll just copy that function and we will paste it right here. Paste. Now this will already make a request for hotel like this, but we don't want to update the hotel or create a hotel. We want to do it for the room, so we'll customize this further. Also, we don't have a router here, so let's create the router. So I can say const router will be equal to use router. This will come from next navigation. We invoke that. Very nice. So we come back now right here where we have this on submit. Now these types will be the same. We are passing from schema. We'll set is loading to true. Now right here we will check if we have a hotel and if we have the room. Okay, so we must have the two so that we actually update the room. So right here we'll say axios.patch and we'll call stroke API, then right here stroke room. Okay, and then right here we will pass the room ID. Here we will pass the values, and then then here will be a toast, the variant, the description will be room updated. Okay, very nice. Then router.push. So instead of saying router.push here, we'll say router.refresh. Then right here we'll close the dialog by calling handle dialog open, and we call that one. If we have an error, we'll do that, nothing to change there. Then right here we will be creating a room. So here instead of hotel we'll say room. If it's success we'll say room created. If something goes wrong we do this. Then right here again instead of router.push let's do router.refresh, and we set is loading to false, and then right here we handle dialog open, which will actually close the dialog. Now when creating the room we'll also need to pass the hotel ID. So instead of just passing the values don't have the hotel ID, so we will spread the values. So we pass an object, we spread the values, then right here we will specify that we need a hotel ID, and we'll say the hotel ID is hotel.id. Make sense? So this is possibly null. We should have it. So at the else here we'll say if we don't have a hotel.id we will return. So that should remove that error. If we don't have hotel, we return. Okay, we save. So we can test this functionality. So right here we can try to submit the form and see if it will throw the errors, and nicely it shows the errors. Very nice, that's good. We choose a room photo, and okay, so I can wait for it to complete uploading there. Once it's uploaded we'll get the image. I don't know why this remains as marked this way. Yeah, actually we haven't added the watch for the image, So at add hotel form, remember we did something nice with the use effect to update the image like this. So we will just copy that piece of code and we will use it again right here. So this will actually get to update the image, and that is why this did not update immediately. So we can click on X. Oops, use effect is not defined, sorry. So we import that from React and we save. Now the problem is that we have lost all the state. Even this is not working. Okay, let's refresh. So we are able to fill out all these details, but we can't actually create the room. And this says create hotel, which we should fix. The reason why we can't create a room, we didn't create the APIs for saving the room and also for updating the room. So here, instead of create hotel, just say create room, and then we create the APIs real quick. So right here at API, I'll add a new folder and we'll call this one room. And inside the room, we'll add a new file. We'll call it route.ts. We can actually go to the hotel route.ts and we copy this. Then we go to room route.ts and we paste it here. So all we need to do here is to customize, which is good. So function post body we get from request.json, user ID from auth. If we don't have a user ID, we throw an error. Then here we will be creating a room. We await prisma.room.create and we pass the data where we will pass the body user ID. I don't think we included user ID at the room, so it's just the ID. We also have hotel ID, so we don't need the user ID. We can remove that. When fetching the hotel, we'll also be fetching it together with its rooms, and the hotel ID will be the relationship between the two. So right here we simply return the room. Here we say error at stroke API stroke room post, then internal server error, and we are done with the API for creating the room. So we'll come to stroke API stroke room and we'll get to this. Now we can do the same for patch. So for patch, we add a new folder right here. We use square brackets, and right here we'll actually say room ID. Right here we'll add a new file and we'll say route.ts. So we go to hotel ID room.ts and we copy this one for patch. Actually, we'll also do the same for the delete, because we'll also be needing to delete a room, right? So I'll do both right now. So I'll just highlight everything right here and copy. I go back to room ID route.ts and I paste. So let's go to the top. We start with patch. So for patch, we'll have request params body user ID. Actually, these now will be room ID and not hotel ID. So here room ID, and this one also to be room ID. We return room ID is required. Then right here user ID unauthorized, perfect. Then we come right here and we will say a prisma db dot room dot update. We get back the room right here where ID is params dot room ID and data is body. So everything is just repetitive here. Right here we return the room. Here we'll say error at stroke API stroke room stroke hotel ID patch and then error. So that is the API endpoint for patch. If we come to add room form, you'll see right here we say API room ID. So that goes to stroke API stroke room ID, and we hit this endpoint. And since here we say patch, it will know that it's supposed to call this function. So we do the same for delete request params. This is not hotel ID. I can actually use Control D to highlight all the hotel IDs. I remove them and I say room ID. Okay, very nice. We receive the room ID as a string, user ID. Here you have room ID. We'll say room ID is required. I hope we did the same here. Yes. Then right here, unauthorized. Here we will say room. Then here we say room. For the error, stroke API, stroke room ID. So when we get to deleting the hotel, we already have our API function right here. So now we can test the functionality of saving the room to the DB. The good thing, this did not refresh when we are changing the server files. So we already have our form pre-filled with the data, and all I need to do is to click on create room. It's creating, and room created. Very nice. So we will show the room down here, but for now let's actually check the DB if we have it. So we go back to here, pop the server, and right here I'll actually say clear, and I'll say npx prisma studio. So that will start our Prisma Studio, where we can actually confirm if the room was created. So this will load hotel, but we should come here and click on room. You see now we have room one record. So we click on room. So here we have now our double room. Is there anything? 2 bed count, 2 guests, 1 bathroom count, 1 king bed, 1 queen bed. The image URL is here. Breakfast price is there in USD, room price. So we have all this. Very nice. So the room is created successfully. Now the next thing that we'll do is to list the room here. Then we'll have a button for editing the room and also a button for deleting a room. So let's cover that next.